Give it up for Bridget. Gosh, it's great. Really quick, give it up for Shayla, dude. This girl, ever since day one in this company, like, she has been killing it. Like, you would not believe. She's definitely somebody you want to follow. But I'm just going to tell you a little bit about who I am and why I decided to do this company, how I got introduced, and then I'll cover the extent of the products and why we're so obsessed with them. Basically, my name's Bridget, like she said. I'm 22 years old, go to Arizona State University, studying pre-med there. I also work at In-N-Out Burger part-time as a manager. And I got introduced to do this through RJ, which I'll tell you about in a bit. But really, what I want to kind of talk to you guys about is my story before Vemma was, you know, going through high school. I kind of got, I don't know about you guys, but when I was 16, my mom was like, you have to go get a job. And I was like, what's a job? So I like go, who do I ask, right? I talk to my friends. I'm like, so what's this job thing? Because my mom said I have to get one. And they're like, oh, it's one of those things where, you know, you go drive through traffic and you go clock in, and then someone tells you what to do, when to do it, what to wear on top of that, what you're allowed to make per hour, when you're allowed to eat, and then after a certain amount of hours, which they get to decide, you get to clock out and you're finally free. I was like, oh. I was like, that sounds so terrible. I'm like, I don't want to do that, but my mom was like, if you're living under my roof, you got to get a job. And I was like, all right, I guess. So I start working for a pizza place, and I got paid this thing that they call minimum wage. And I don't know if you know what that is, but it's what a company's legally, like, if they could pay you less, they would, but legally they have to pay you this minimum wage. And I was like, dang, like, I can't, like, this is not happening for me. Like, after a year working there, I was like, seriously, like, I need to make more money, because I don't know where it goes, but I need to make more. And I'm like that ambitious type where I'm like, it's never enough, you know, I'm always like striving for more and more. So I was like talking to my friends again, and I was like, dude, what do I gotta do? Because I can't work more hours at this job. I'm just getting paid the same amount. And they're like, oh, one of my friends goes, you should get a job at In-N-Out, because they pay pretty good for jobs. And I was like, okay, yeah, sounds cool. Like, they pay more, awesome. So I go and get a job at In-N-Out, and they do pay more. And I was like, sweet. So I'm working at In-N-Out, and like a few years go by, and I'm like, dang, like, still working here, like, still getting paid the same amount, like, still getting told what to do and when to do it. And I was like, I need more money. Like, I'm out of high school now. I'm in college, and I have bills. Nobody told me about those things. So I got bills now. I'm like, this is not enough money. And so I was like, what am I gonna do? Talk to my friends again. I was like, you guys, I need more money. And they're like, well, you gotta go work more hours, and you'll get more money if you work more hours. And I was like, I found out there's a new law, thanks Obama, there's a new law where you can only work 27 hours a week if you're part-time. So not only do I not have time for more hours, I legally can't even work more hours. So I was like, what do I do, you know? And then RJ comes to me with this idea, right? You don't have to trade your time for money. It's like, dude, you're crazy. Like, if you didn't have to trade your time for money, I would have heard about it by now. Like, somebody would have told me, because I've been asking all my friends and family, you know, how do I make money? And none of them ever told me about this. And here you come out of nowhere, like, tell me about this. I was like, no, there's no way. It's too good to be true. So then he actually tricked me into going to a huge convention. So like you saw in the video, thousands of kids our age making a lot of money. And guess what? They're not trading their time for it. And I was like, whoa. They were so excited, and they were so excited and passionate about it. And I was like, dude, I'm not excited or passionate about what I'm doing. Like, straight up, like, I'm not. And I was like, so this, I mean, is everyone super excited because there's, like, drugs and alcohol here? Is, like, that's what's going on? But there wasn't. So I was like, what the heck? Like, all right, so let's go hear about what this is. And so I'm like, okay, RJ, like, I guess I'll come check it out. How long is it going to be? He's like I said, it's not what you guys are experiencing right now. He's like, oh, it's just going to be 6 hours. He's walking. Like, we talked about this before. I don't have more time, right? So I'm like, okay, 6 hours. I'll probably check it out, and maybe I'll learn some cool things, meet some cool people, and then leave to the beach if I get bored. And I actually ended up staying through the entire thing. And it was because we were learning from people who had what I wanted. So obviously I'm going to sit there and listen to what they have to say, right? I realized after that convention, I realized I didn't want anything different, because I've always wanted to help people make a lot of money doing it. But I was now listening to people who were giving me the advice I wish I had day one. Like, I wish I would have been listening to these people the first time I wanted to learn how to make money, right? But, so they're telling me, yeah, if I had to start my whole entire entrepreneurial career over again, I would start with a company like this. And I was like, damn, I don't know how it works yet, but I'm super interested. Just based off of a millionaire, or 2 or 3 or 4, telling me that this is what they would do, I'm like, okay, I should probably listen to you guys, because you have what I want. And I love my friends, and I love my mom to death, but they don't live the lifestyle I want to live. You know, my mom's lifestyle looks all pretty on the outside, but the bank owns her house, the bank owns her car, and she works a job. And you know how I feel about jobs. We just went over it. I don't want one of those. I want to be my own boss. Like, I want to be able to, you know, do what I want to do what I want, when I want, with whoever I want, because that's the definition of success for me. So I was like, okay, but coming out of that convention, I was super hyped, but I was like, okay, yeah, I want to be my own boss, blah, blah. And then I was like, I realized I didn't have a plan to do that, you know? So I was talking to Grady, and he's like, well, this could be your vehicle to get you there, where you want to go. He's like, look at your life 5 years from now, what do you see? And I was like, okay, looking at it 5 years from now, I'm probably working for somebody else, building somebody else's own dreams and not mine. And, you know, I'm not going to have any time freedom to do the things that I want to do, because you have an obligation to be somewhere at a certain time every single day, unless you work a corporate job where you get the weekends off. So I was like, he's like, well, everything you just said you wish you had, like, you can get through this company. And I was like, whoa. I was like, okay, tell me more. But I was still skeptical, because I didn't understand how it worked, right? I heard from this girl, Kaylee Warren. She was 20 at the time, 19 or 20, like making $250,000 a year in this company at 20 years old. And I was like, oh my God, like, if she can do it, I can probably do it. I'm a girl too. I'm like, like, if she can do it, it's probably something I can do. So I was like, okay, how does it work? Because if she's making all this money, where does the money come from? And is she one of the only people making all that money? Because that sounds kind of like and what I found out was, no, there's thousands of kids making a ton of money in this company. It's not just like a few people. It's a lot of people. Like RJ, like me, like Shayla. And so, but at the time I was like, okay, so where's all the money come from? And it's just a simple customer referral program. So it's like things we're drinking already on a daily basis: coffee, energy drinks, tea, weight loss lines, vitamin supplements, things we're taking already on a daily basis, but we get paid to tell our friends about it. So it's just like, you know, look down. You guys are branding yourselves all the time. It's the same exact thing. We don't get paid for that. Like, and the same thing as if you go to a restaurant. Say I go to a restaurant with my mom on Mother's Day, right? And I'm like, oh, this restaurant's amazing. And I'm like, all right, team, we all got to go to this restaurant because it's amazing. Like, let's go. So we go to the restaurant, and then I bring 10 friends with me, and I go up to the manager, and I'm like, hey, do you think I can get my meal for free because I brought you all this business? He's going to look at me funny, right? He's going to be like, that's not how it works. Like, you got to pay for your food, and I hope you tip too. So, like, that's the same exact thing, but with this company, we get paid. It's like, think about Red Bull, right? Red Bull spent $960 million in marketing alone last year. So think about that big chunk of change. Instead of going to marketing, advertising, professional athletes like Red Bull does with their money, it goes out to people like me. And it's the same thing. It's not like we're going, I was like, okay, so it's sales. Like, we got to sell things. I'm not a salesman. I don't want to do that. And he's like, no, like, you're not going to have a wagon and a clipboard going around Girl Scout style, like, to people's houses in freaking Arizona. I'm like, we don't do that. He's like, you just tell a couple friends about it. And I like to tell people this story about a guy named Jamie Cheerio. He's 20 years old. He's presidential, making 6 figures in this company. And you have to have 1,500 orders in your business to be presidential. So I was like, dude, how'd you do that? Did you find like 600 people? Did you find like 400 people? And he's like, no, I just found 6 people. But not only did I find 6, he's like, I just helped them find a few, and the numbers grew exponentially, as you guys can imagine. People, like, numbers double pretty fast. So I was like, wow, that makes complete sense. So I was like, you mean if I help a few friends find a few friends and so on and so forth, like, I can make a lot of money in this company? He's like, yeah, like, obviously, that's what we're doing. So I was like, wow. And like the biggest thing for me with this, it just went against everything we were taught, right? Like I went over, it just went against everything. And I was working really hard at Arizona State for a degree that I was like, all right, this is my ticket to like money, you know, but come to find out 52% of my graduating class is unemployed or underemployed. That means they just got a degree and they just got buried in debt and they're not even using the degree that they worked so hard for. And they're working jobs like the one I had at Internet, or I have still. Like they're working these jobs that don't require their degree, or they're working for like even minimum wage. You can make more money as a server or a bartender in Old Town Scottsdale than you can with a degree these days. And I'm not talking down on school at all. I believe in it completely. I'd go get a degree. I'm just talking up an opportunity because we need it. So that's my story, and that's why I'm doing this. But now with the products. So the products is, what this company was founded upon was a 2-ounce formula of Vemma. So we saw people like Brad Alcazan at 26 years old, 25, whatever, become rich selling multivitamins to old people. Like that's what the company was based off of. It was just the 2-ounce formula. Vemma is actually an acronym that stands for vitamins, essential minerals, mangosteen, and aloe vera. Vitamins A through E, 65 plant source minerals. The thing about plant source minerals is your body can't make them. That's the one thing your body cannot make. So if you're not getting it through the food you're eating or through supplementing, you're not getting it at all. And I'm no hypocrite. Like I eat Jimmy John's and Pizza Hut at like midnight all the time. So we're obviously like as college students, we're not getting the nutrition that we need. We're not eating like salads and salads and salads all day long. So honestly, for me and my friends, Vemma and Verb is like the healthiest thing we do all day. So okay, so that's the minerals, and then the mangosteen is actually a superfruit from Southeast Asia, and it has 126 different antioxidants in it, and 30 different xanthones. Now there are only 38 xanthones that exist, and we have 30 of them in our products. Like, that's amazing. What xanthones do is they clear free radical cells from your body, so those are the cells that cause heart disease, cancer, like heart attacks, things like that, diabetes. So it's like, if we're clearing all of those out of our body, that means we're lowering our risk for those, right? Like we don't make any health plans, you know, but when you give your body every single thing it needs on a daily basis, it's going to perform at its peak. And our formula is clinically studied to reduce inflammation and boost your immune system. And what I found out was most products aren't even clinically studied. Like you go to a GNC and like 90% of the things on the shelves aren't even clinically studied. The FDA doesn't regulate it. The FDA doesn't say you have to have anything studied until somebody gets a disease from it or something bad happens. Then it gets investigated. So when I saw that, I was like, wow. Like, so our CEO actually spent the extra money to get these clinically studied to prove how good they were. I was like, just alone right there, like Shayla said, I was like, well, I'm on board definitely just because of the products. Like whether or not I end up finding out if this business is for me or not, like I really want to just get on the products because I know how good they are for me. And what I ended up doing was by getting on the products, I wanted to share them with everybody because you feel so good and you're drinking an energy drink that's healthy for you instead of all the crap that all our friends are drinking on a daily basis. They're chasing their vodka with Red Bull and they're dying. Like people die from doing that. So is it already 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Oh, we're good. We have like 9 minutes. Well, okay, so with that, I'm just going to give it over to RJ because I guess I talked a long time. RJ, like I said, he introduced me to this company. He's amazing. He's 21 years old. He's at the level of diamond, pushing platinum. He's got a free Benz. It's outside the parking lot if you don't believe me. Like, and he's been my mentor in this. Like, not only is he a great friend to me, but he's helped me with this business and helped me succeed and help all my friends succeed that we bring into the company. So, and he knows where he's going to. Like, he's taking this thing to $1 billion, and he just wants to take all of us with him. So, with that,